For 150 years, the idea of traveling underwater was viewed as nothing more than a parlor trick, a myth, a joke played by eccentric inventors. But in 1776, an American college student decided to turn that joke into a weapon of mass destruction. And the result was a terrifying, claustrophobic suicide mission. This is the story of the first submarine attack in human history. To understand the sheer terror of this machine, you have to look at the blueprints. The inventor, David Bushnell, didn't have steel or engines or electricity. He had wood. He designed an oak barrel, shaped like two giant tortoise shells glued together, and sealed the seams with thick, black tar. There was no motor, just a single man, a tiny breathing pipe, and a set of hand-cranked wooden propellers. It was the first time a screw propeller had ever been used on a watercraft. They called it the Turtle. But the Turtle wasn't built just to hide. It was built to kill. And you can't fire a cannon underwater. Bushnell had to invent an entirely new type of weapon, the underwater time bomb. He packed 150 pounds of gunpowder into a wooden keg and attached it to a custom clockwork timer built from the firing mechanism of a flintlock musket. The plan was insane. The pilot had to paddle underwater in the pitch black, drill a massive screw into the hull of an enemy British warship, attach the bomb, and violently crank the pedals to escape before the timer ran out. On the night of September 6, 1776, a sergeant named Ezra Lee was sealed inside the Turtle. At midnight, in the freezing waters of New York Harbor, he paddled for hours toward the massive 64-gun British flagship, the HMS Eagle. He sank beneath the hull. He tried to drill the bomb into the wood, but he hit a solid iron plate. Running entirely out of oxygen, fighting the river currents, and completely blind, Lee had to abandon the mission. He detached the bomb to distract the British and desperately cranked his way to the surface as a massive underwater explosion tore through the harbor. The mission failed. The British ship survived. But it proved to the world that underwater warfare was actually possible. George Washington himself called it an effort of genius. Today, nuclear submarines silently patrol the oceans, carrying enough firepower to level cities. But every single one of those multi-billion-dollar titans traces its lineage back to a college student, a wooden barrel, and a clockwork bomb.